Hi guys, I'm Onkar.
Hi, I'm Adi. So we are Biscuit Production, and we are fourth-year students studying in Srishti, pursuing business service and system design.
Yeah, and today we have the man,
The myth
the legend,
and the Zen.
not the car, Mr. Varun Gupta.
Hi, Aadi and Onkar.
Yes. So, hello Varun. How's your morning been?
Been very good actually. Been in full energy mode. I'm enjoying spending time with the class. Just doing because now is the time when you're also producing work, so it's good to engage rather than just doing it in a class mode.
Right.
So been having an energetic morning.
So
That's great.
you are talking about the class. So tell the audience what you do in Srishti. Your roles.
So my main role in Shrishti is head of studies for entrepreneurship for impact. This is a master's program, and it is envisioning new ways of enterprising. Our basic philosophy is that often enterprises are seen as businesses which have to be exploitative. You can make profit only if you are exploiting the planet or exploiting certain group of people, artisans, workers. Typically, the hierarchies in companies are very well defined. In fact, they're called blue-collared employees and white-collared employees. And personally, in my life, I realized that that's not a place that will be meaningful or inspiring for me to go and work at. I can never imagine myself spending so much time working in my life. We start working in our early 20s and work till we are 60, 70. Or uske baad, I'm just working in a IT company where I have nothing to show. So we realized that not just my generation, but more so your generation, there'll be more and more smarter people who would want to work in meaningful workplaces. And they'll want to realize that as we are working, that work should also produce some impact, which might be around climate change, might be around preserving art, craft, might be working with a community and saying, oh, we are not owners and you are workers, we are partners in this. And we said, how do we envision such kind of enterprises? So this master's program is essentially that. It's a 2 years program for already entrepreneurs to come in with their enterprise, get incubated here, and think how they can design what they are doing now. This could even mean designing the way they supply their goods, designing the way they acquire customers. It could be also for absolute young idea to come in and over 2 years build on that idea. So we offer this program in two modes. There is a professional practice mode. There is a full-time program, and that's what I primarily do.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I also teach at Business System Service Design. I teach with human-centered design. So I teach some BWalk programs, and my own sort of practice is around building healthier enterprises.
That's great. So, what do you think BSSD is? What role do we have as designers? What sets us apart?
This I'm hoping will be a question that even over the next decade, when you ask or someone asks, we are thinking about it, because I think this is a relatively new field in academics, which is around designing the way we business. It is not surprising if you ask anyone, the way we enterprise is broken, it's flawed. Hierarchies एक तरफ है, but second is for somebody to see the impact that their work makes, it's so difficult. Flexibility of work. You are supposed to be serious and
Collared full.
you dress seriously, you walk seriously, and the higher up you go in the hierarchy, the more serious you become.
face.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
face, like I I spent almost a decade working with different kinds of enterprises, and even in parties, they'll be like, "Oh, I don't dance."
I make this much profit.
exactly. And so it's flawed from employee side. Second, it's also flawed from the customer side. Today customers, if they were to ask, where my product is made, how it's made, it's very difficult for them to seek this information. Very few companies transparently share this is what is, or even share this is what is in your product. They will find all different ways of having the ingredients where you can really not know what goes into your product. As we become more people who have access to more information, these are things which are bound to change. Unfortunately, there is no place in academics which is working on designing these things. Like organizations have to be in hierarchy. Really? Or who in the organizations rethinks this?
Right.
Is the CEO rethinking this? No. Is employee rethinking this? There is no position in the hierarchy which can think this. Again, think about this. Information kaise flow hoti hai? You have different streams which are all merging only at one point at the CEO's level. Only he gets to see finance, HR, marketing, sales, product development. There is no place anywhere else who have access to this kind of interdisciplinary information. Right? I am just sharing these to give you different perspectives of the problems that exist. So the course was envisioned to say, can we actively design business, the way we business? And is it a need of the hour? Absolutely. Yeah. Because also now technology can do so much in terms of when you say transparency, information flow. But we don't have enough designers to redesign the way we enterprise. I'll give you a simple thing. I was recently talking to a friend of mine. He's a venture capitalist. He mostly invests in Web3 based enterprises. And I was like, dude, but already there is so much technology available on our phones through even Web2.
Yeah.
But the applications of it is so limited. You can do shopping on it, on a thing. You can access maybe content. Most of us are using this for content consumption.
Right.
But there is so much more we can do. Than just this kind of matching. Most of the businesses are matching. So the traders have now been replaced by technology traders. You can look at dating apps as matching. You can look at e-commerce as matching. You can look at service providers as matching. Mostly businesses are based on this kind of one-to-one matching.
Yeah.
But there is so much more that Web 2.0 can also do. Web 3.0 can do so much more. Technology is already available. But thinkers of, designers of business are very few. So we are hoping that can BSSD be a program that designs the way we business. So,
sorry.
This is not a play. Also, Varun, I think we should tell this way.
Yeah.
So let's start again. Where were we?
No, sorry.
So, I was giving you some examples of what BSSD could mean. And that's the vision of it. Right now, if you look at just currently the kind of challenges we see, even looking at an app or a product and going back to see iska system kya hai, where does it come from, even what will be the different points of service that a customer will get. If you want, I can give you an example around this.
Sure.
So today you open an app and you see, okay, there are vehicles around, and you are getting a service where you get a cab on call in 10 minutes. Now, this is a service that as a complete service is coming to you. But behind this, as a company, they are doing so many things. They are doing financing for drivers to be able to be vehicle owners. We didn't think about it. There is another service being offered, which is to onboard more drivers to come in and be a part of this platform. These are people who are going around installing that app. There is engagement of the drivers on the platform, which is another. Now, all of these start becoming a system that the organization is doing. Now, when we know of this, we also can engage with the challenges. You were having, this is news of today and yesterday, that all the auto drivers are uninstalling the app of Uber because there was a directorate by High Court saying, hey, you can't be charging prices different from the meter. But I don't know how many people actually thought that, well, actually today to find a cab driver to go by the meter is impossible.
Right.
Now this needs a systemic intervention. This needs somebody to partner with taxi driver unions, with the government, with the cops to enforce this, to see how can we arrive at a solution which is comfortable for all, which might need pricing going up, which might be a bad thing for the government to show, but it has to happen because otherwise right now you are always hassling with a cab driver. Now, this is the kind of things and this is the kind of problems that BSSD actively engage and will engage in. So that's my understanding of the course.
From that, just whatever he said, I'm doing that thing. So we are talking about BDL as well. So we are setting up a lab in Srishti, which is Business Design Lab, and we're going to talk about it more. Like, what is BDL?
Yeah, but on that, mom dad are also worried कि job कहाँ मिलेगी ये करके.
एक साल में जाना है.
I think BDL this is a good segue into what BDL is because job कहाँ मिलेगी और what is the awareness around this even in the world is so little. BDL is an initiative for that. The reason why we are doing these podcasts, why you are doing Biscuit Productions, why we are doing Bullshit Enterprises, why we are active on social media is one first thing we are putting up boards out there, hoardings out there saying business design doesn't mean branding, colors, UI, UX. No. Business design is beyond to see what are the new products are your company coming up with. 5 years hence, how are you going to be working with your employees? Because the way employees want engagement is changing. If you're not thinking about it right now, if you're not designing about it right now, you are late in the game. So first thing that we are putting up out there as a BDL, as a message that is going out there is, this is what business design is. We are people who are aiming to do this. We are very comfortable in working with Excel sheets, working out costing, and looking at what the value proposition for your customer needs to be, and looking at how this pricing should look at on your website. We are very comfortable understanding what your customer journey is. How can we onboard new customers? How do we do lead building? How those leads will be engaged to and lead us to a conversion? What our numbers will look like 2 years hence, 3 years hence? We are very comfortable talking business stuff as we are comfortable talking about design stuff, from how communication needs to happen, how the stakeholder will be engaged, even going and understanding challenges of different stakeholders. Like even right now, if you see the clients we are working with, many times the problems we are putting forth for a client, the client is coming and saying, really? We hadn't thought about it.
Yeah.
I'll give you a recent example too. Both of you went to Jaipur and went to Artisans. And one of the feedback we took back to the company is saying, Artisans might be a little inconvenienced by having visitors like us. Regular visitors, because they are working on hand knotting their rugs. And the company was like, because when we go there, we are received with so much warmth. And of course, you're the owners. When you will go there, they will, they will show all their gratitude and graciousness towards you. but also see the other side, which we are able to see. Now, that's the design lens that we go with.
Yeah, I think we bring a fresh perspective to everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, BDL is first doing this messaging. But second, it's also now setting up an active enterprise within the college. One of my close relatives, mentors, runs an incubator, and he gives an example. He says, "Swimming pool. You need a swimming pool to learn swimming. You can't learn it on blackboard." I often feel the same way about enterprises. You can't learn it on simulations and just through class. You need a live enterprise, because when you're actually selling, you realize, sales is not that easy.
Yeah. We've had a class with you as well.
You've had a class with me as well on that, right? So it is, and you need live places to be able to do that. So one vision that BDL holds, and this is, maybe we won't be able to achieve it in the next 6 months, but hopefully in 23, is be a student-owned enterprise in college, which can be a platform for individuals to sell a mock-up that they have created, sell a product that they have made, even sell service. A lot of you are already freelancing, but you're doing it individually. Can we provide a platform where all the people who want to offer services, can have a platform to do that? Now, another challenge is when we have live clients, and we want live clients. Right now, the challenge of engaging those clients lies with the faculty. Now, for us, it is difficult because for this semester, I'm working with you. But next semester, I might be just teaching individual studios. So what should happen to these clients? Shall they just wait for when the next time we reach back to them? And once this engagement is lost, that connection is lost. So we needed a way to have ongoing engagement with these clients. Now, having a live enterprise will allow us, hopefully, to do that. Where some of you might decide to come join this full time. Or at least the lab will be engaged with that. So then there will be a new set of students who are available. They can come join the lab and work with the kind of clients we are working with. We will have some of us who are seniors who might be able to handhold them to say, this is what we did last semester. These are active projects. Can you now take these forward? For example, many of you have app ideas. Many of you are working with the app development team in these companies, things like that. Or many of you are also looking at business modeling. Now, in 6 months period, we are able to get access to limited information, and in that, our understanding has been able to take it to a certain extent. But from here, imagine the next semester, they take that project further. They're able to see the development stage further. So that's what a live enterprise will allow.
Their own new perspectives based on our own research.
Yeah. So this is the vision of BDL. We are hoping this is a student-owned enterprise where your shares, your information of shares, payouts is transparent. Anyone who's a member can get to see it. My personal wish is that this becomes a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, and we at some point go on the blockchain and actually get registered, where we have our own BDL coin. So these are, and if not here, where else will we experiment these ideas?
Exactly.
So that's the vision of BDL.
हमारे company में तो experiment नहीं करने देंगे.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, so coming from the part where he said they're not going to let us experiment in companies, but us getting into these companies itself, right? That seems like a challenge to us because it's a very competitive world. Yeah. The job we want is the same job people from MBA want, but they are in MBA and we are just undergrads who did business design, which nobody has heard of.
Yes.
So how should we position ourselves? What should we do?
This can be like a guide to students who are going to apply for internship right now or masters.
Yes.
How should they tell the company that I'm a service designer and I do this?
Yeah.
And how should they position themselves?
I think one is CVs are a passe. you should showcase your portfolio. And that's like any portfolio of a Shristi student I see, I always have a smile on my face because of the kind of engagement we do. For example, uh, like the other project right now, they are working in commercial street area. They are working with bringing circularity in with for street vendors. They're looking at waste disposal for street vendors in commercial street roads. In our studios, we worked with looking at street vendors as a business unit, seeing how they get their supplies, what's the kind of profit they make, how do they do visual merchandising. Now, this ability to see is unique to designers. And we got to talk about it more. What management studies largely is, and my mentor Jacob says it beautifully. He says, it's like learning to drive but looking only in the rear view mirror. Okay. Why? And I asked him, I had the same quizzical look you had, Aadi. Why is he saying that? Because the way management is taught mostly is based on case studies. They will present a problem. Now all of you are thinking, and now there is a solution. And that a solution is what had happened. Now that could have been a good case or a bad case. Now most management is learned that way. And that's a challenge. My second and my bigger challenge than this aspect is the moment you come out of management studies, you become an expert, or you at least go in saying, oh, I am the expert. Now, when you are the expert, your ability to experiment is very little. You come up with answers, and that's the right answer. And if it's not the right answer, it's me versus you. And that sentiment of management consultants, and that's, you become a management consultant fresh out of MBA. You all these McKinseys and all, they hire you, and from day one you're a consultant, and you're expected to be this, know-it-all, assured. I am hoping when we go in there, we say we are not that. We are here to together find out a solution. Let's run a series of experiments to see if this works. We are also people who are very comfortable in rolling up our sleeves, like what you did last week. You sat with the artisan, you spent days with them, you connected with them. They were friends with you at the end of it. Like, especially Aadi, your stories with me when we were on the auto. And you saying ki, मैं दोस्त बन गया और उसके बाद फोन किया और उसके बाद WhatsApp पे यही हुआ. I don't know how many management
they won't be able to connect because they always keep a wall between them. Like, I'm the authority and you are working for me. But when I went there, I went for learning. And I don't know about this. Tell me. So that's the wall we need to break, I feel.
And this vulnerability will come up with the kind of solutions which are off. Because like we saw in the earlier example that I gave, where we realized, they are not so comfortable having so many visitors. Is the kind of insight which will create new solutions. Based on that observation, now we pitched it to the client. Just this yesterday when we had the last. And now the solution that I just heard today in class is saying, can we make a more sort of meaningful visits when somebody is visiting the artisan? And it's going to change the way we work. So this is how the solutions will come, because we will be able to see problems rather than just going and focusing on a solution. This is, if I may say, this is the last thing that is different between management studies and design studies. Management studies is much like math, where more the number of variables, more harder the problem is. So you say, ki variables kam karo. Let me come up with a solution quickly. There is a place in the world for it. Design is about embracing more variables. We're saying, इसमें सिर्फ एक variable नहीं है, इसमें दो variables, इसमें दो नहीं, इसमें चार variables हैं.
First step we tackled on one variable.
And we probably don't tackle. We at the first stage we expand the number of variables.
to see what role each variable plays, how it affects everything.
Yes. Because an artisan being aware about the healthcare services they have access to is important. It is important for my business. It is not just a role of a CSR. ये मेरे employee engagement के लिए जरूरी है. Thinking, why will the next generation of artisans be interested in my business is important. These are variables which I will, as a business designer, I will embrace when I'm coming up with my solution. So that's one difference, key difference I see.
What is your
sorry.
look? What is your larger sort of goal with this lab setup in Srishti?
My perverse goal is to influence all of us in looking at this healthier notion of healthier businesses. I'm hoping by exposing you to the clients like farmer cooperative, agri-based, artisan-based organization which is working with 40,000 artisans and is aiming to have self-management systems at every level of the organization. By working with B2B business that is bringing more consciously made products available in hospitality industry, in corporate gifting. By working with companies like this, you realize that, oh, these are profitable businesses. They are impact-making businesses. They are also more joyous workplaces to work with. If I can influence you around this, we are sending out 27 sort of brand ambassadors out in the world. If each one of you even work with 5 organizations, that's the kind of magnitude of impact you will have. I know for a fact that tomorrow you will not just go into a chemical factory and be interested in making the 5 lakh rupees, 6 lakh rupee a month salary and say, get out of my office. You will be humane just through this kind of exposure. And you will, in fact, be challenging the workplaces where you go to say, how can we bring more meaning into this? So that's, as an educator, that's my sort of not so secret mission through BDL.
Yeah, but as Varun said, but apart from that, we are also working on, as a BDL lab, we are creating content and we are making people aware about what is business in design. So that's one of the things.
Yeah, like we have other branches, I would say, like bullshit enterprises.
Yeah,
that
we bust bullshit ads and branding things that business run on our television.
Yeah. And that's also interesting because typically branding or design agencies work with whatever little the company gives them, and now they create ads out of it without really looking at is this value proposition tangible, or putting themselves in the shoes of, if I was a customer, is this some tangible difference, or is it just flowery words that I need to put together with flowery visuals to sell my product? Yeah, you can do that, but your product will only sell that much. If your value proposition is tangible, by value proposition I mean, what is the company offering you? What is the price that they are asking you for that? Is that transaction a profitable transaction for the customer and the company? If not, your value that product is giving is meaningless or is not enough. For example, this is a meme, right? How is iPhone 14 different from an iPhone 13? They are not able to articulate it, and that's why they are having to spend so much in just creating a buzz. Now, if they are able to take the chance with the 14, they can do it probably with 15, but you will slowly start seeing that buzz doesn't live. It is shoddy. They'll need to find new ways of articulating this. My imagination is And if not an iPhone 13 and 14, 15, 16, maybe iPhone 20 will talk about, this one is a phone that you can repair yourself. Each component of it can be removed. Go to an iPhone center and we will replace it.
Yeah, instead of buying a new whole phone,
Yeah.
which is creating a lot of stress.
And
Yes.
they're sort of paving their way towards it because now I think they're working on the right to repair because every time you had to take it to an Apple service center and otherwise your warranty is void. So, like in a country like India, especially, like Bangalore has quite a few places, but say a city like Hubli or probably even Kolhapur itself, right? Like the number of Apple service centers you have is very little, right? So you will have skilled people who will be able to probably fix a screen. There's some issue with the salt drink, but you do that and Apple's like, now it's not our responsibility
Yeah.
because you chose to repair it. So
And I think more and more electronics will move in that line of thinking. Now you need people to design this. Otherwise, they don't know how to sell their products in their marketing. They are coming up with gimmicky names and gimmicky sort of value ads. And what we are doing through Bullshit Enterprise is calling that out,
right.
saying, "Don't fool us." I love the way we articulated. Don't reduce our IQ.
What's the weirdest, or I don't know how to place it. What's the weirdest ad you have seen around this? Which you want to bust?
Yeah, so many. I tried looking this up. I saw an ad of this ad on television which said "mosquito go away technology." I'm not even making this up. I'm not able to find which ad that was, but there was a mosquito go away technology. My wife recently went to a cosmetic shop and she saw H2O hydration technology. I'm not even making this up. This was, I think this was this thing, face cream which said H2O hydration technology. And she asked, she said, H2O hydration technology kya hota hai? And this person thought she doesn't know H2O is water. So she's like, ma'am, H2O is water. This is water hydration.
What?
So are you selling me water in a bottle that I put on my face?
Distillery का branding अलग
They're
है.
assuming we're all from commerce.
So these are some, but I can think of so many.
There are so many. I went to the movies recently and there was this ad for, I don't know, some Chinese brand phone itself. But so this guy walks into, like on the highway, he goes to a cafe, he puts his phone to charge, he orders something, then he forgets to take his phone and he leaves. So this guy takes another car and this guy goes fast. So they start chasing each other and he overtakes fully. And then he's like, you left your phone. And while he's about to take it, he's like, do you want to race for the phone? And it's a shitty phone, to be honest, right? It's not something you would race for, right? Like it's some Xiaomi, something like, I'm not going to race for it. Just take it back, right? Like, itna petrol kharch karke, itna dur jaake, you're like, let's just race for this. It makes no sense, right? And I feel even we as BSSD students would sort of tell the company like, bro, listen, think what you're doing. This ad makes no sense. Right? Like, what kind of impact will you make with this ad? Because I don't think anyone's going to buy
Lightning
a phone
speed.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the car, not in the phone.
And it's the trends. Earlier, the ads used to be very different. If you look at ads in 60s, 70s, for example, ads for consumer goods used to be, this will last you this long. Like my dad was a marketer for Godrej, and they used to make fridge at that time. And the ad at that time used to be 5 years later, you will thank us. 10 or something like that. 10 years later, you will be like, wow. 25 years later, you'll be like, I love this brand. And this stood true. Like, even till now, when I go to my relatives' place and all, many of them have that Godrej cold gold fridge, 30 years old, 25 years old. Like, when I got married, the fridge my wife was using was one that her parents bought when she was born. And it was a perfectly great, product. But nowadays, there was a movement which was to say that, okay, sell the dream that your product has. But unfortunately, now it has been only sell this secondary thing, the dream and all of that, and not so much about the product. I also think one thing is about the life of the product or the right to repair. There are also going to be awareness around, for example, with the EV trend growing, you will have lithium-ion batteries being put. very soon consumers will start asking what is going to happen to these batteries.
Yeah, not even the batteries after that. But before producing the people say that EVs are the future and they are safe for environment. But to create a battery, you need to burn something,
Yeah.
which is creating more pollution in the industry.
Yes.
So no one's talking about that. They are just branding and positioning themselves. We are safe.
Yes. And if not now, 10 years later, there will be, like, for example, already sustainability and toothbrushes are a sort of common thing. When you talk about sustainability, first product that comes to mind is a bamboo toothbrush. But soon you will have customers also saying, hey, how was my lithium mined? In lithium ion batteries, you also have magnesium and many other elements. Many of them are mined unethically.
Yeah.
But should the company start thinking about it? Absolutely. Can they start using that in their advertisement? If not now, 5 years later, 10 years later, again, this is going to be the themes around which advertisements will be decided.
Because people now are getting more and more aware. Like with H&M, they're like, where are clothes made? Like they're in sweatshops in Bangladesh.
We are conscious.
Yeah, we are conscious
Only
now.
conscious thing in that whole thing is the tag.
Yeah. So we have greenwashing happening left, right, and center there. Bullshit enterprises are little aim of sort of questioning these, but it is pointing to this larger theme of saying, businesses need to do more, and it makes business sense.
And sort of speaking about this in a broader sense, why did you think we as BSc students had to work on verticals, horizontals, and creatives at the same time? Like, what was your thought behind it?
So,
if you don't mind, just explain the
I'll also
vertical,
explain
yeah.
exactly. So the way we designed BDL, so this is, by the way, a semester-long project. Everyone, we started working from end of August. 22nd August is when we officially started, and we are working together till November 30th. And during this time, the 27 students, we are working on 3 parts. First part is a vertical. Our vertical is working with a live client. And why we chose to work with live clients, because so far, most of the courses have been about speculative thinking. Now, speculative thinking can only go so far, because in most cases, we don't even know the actual problems underneath. Because the problems are layered. Their solutions are not so obvious. And for that, you can only do that when you're engaging with a live client. And that's why, so that's the vertical, where you're working with the live client, working on business challenging. It's an experience for you to see how design consulting could work, how, when you're going to work in design agencies or you're going to work in teams with deliverables, how that works like. So this is a proper office setup. I challenge you on how are you building rapport with your client? Are you delivering on your timelines? Is your information that you're sharing with them in a way that they can also visualize what you're talking about? So those are the aspects that we are learning in the vertical. Horizontal is all of us taking our shot in articulating what BDL is. So we are preparing content, we are doing marketing. Just like Biscuit. Biscuit is part of Biscuit production is part of horizontal. We are finding different ways of creating brand identity for BDL. We realize communication is an important part of what we do as designers, because we can't be informing our clients or our large customers around the Excel sheets that we work on. We need to work on that, create tangible value prop, and now communicate it in a way that they understand it. And that journey has to happen, and each one of us have to have that journey. So the horizontals is the way to do that. Horizontal is also a way when we go to, so we will be presenting all the work that we do in Bangalore Design Week, which will happen from December 4th to December 11th. Our aim is at that time engage with larger audience to share what business in design is. and also share profiles of each of these gorgeous, amazing talents. So we want to share unabashedly who we are, the kind of work that they have done. So that's the aim that horizontals are doing. The third bit is individual weekly creative practice. Now, this is something that we felt to keep our design alive, to keep our artist in us alive, because designer is somewhere midway between an artist and a business person, especially a business designer. So now we are getting the business info by working with the client, but how do we keep the artist in us alive? Like Onkar is a gorgeous singer, and Aadi is a lovely artist. Like his visual art, his illustrations are, amazing. Now, how do we keep this aspect of anyone alive? And that's where the weekly creative practice comes in. That you also show that what a gorgeous artist you are. So that's how we framed this 3-month.
Yeah. So going back to the topic of BDL and your vision, do you imagine other majors to come in BDL and collaborate with us? Like half of the projects, like majors in Srishti, are overlapping. I feel HCD projects are overlapping with IIDP and BSSD projects. So how do you envision them to collaborate with us, working with our client?
Totally. Design is interdisciplinary. We are already missing that kind of expertise, right?
Yeah.
Like many of our clients are saying, can you help us with the VC kind of work? Create movies for us, create scripts for us, create AdWords for us, which we don't necessarily have the expertise. I am imagining that BDL becomes an interdisciplinary. We should have movie makers with us.
Yeah.
We should have creative writers with us. We should have creative education. So 2 people in the BDL, Rishima and Pranjal, are looking at this also as a pedagogy. Because how can we talk about and learn about business and design in the larger perspective? So we need creative educators to also come in. So it should be an interdisciplinary space.
Yeah, I think we're done.
So yeah, that's it for this week. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Varun.
Have any other question?
Yeah. So thank you, Varun. It was a fun session. So we'll try to meet you next week and try to bring new people.
No,
No.
she
I have a
doesn't.
question. That was 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we don't need it. It's okay. Yeah. So let's do it again. Thank you, Varun, for talking to us.
Yeah, it
and
was a great session.
talking to
and
everyone about
yeah.
what business and design is. So
We'll try to bring more of these such educators and people from the industry to talk about this. And you can find us on Instagram as well, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You are already here. So
we're on Twitter also.
Yeah, we are here on Twitter, and
people
are creating fab content over there. So just check it out. And meet you soon.
Yeah, thank you for watching the entire video.
I will also invite you to come join this movement.
Yeah.
We are
Did you stop?
businessdesign.lab.
Okay.
So join us, and I'm hoping that if you're in second year, third year, first year, you come be a part of this in the going years ahead. So be a part of the movement.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
It's
Creating
really
con-
fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
So they say.
Yeah, we say.
Yeah.
Because we are sold with that.
If you're in MBA, switch to design.
And